Hi everyone. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for joining us today. I'm just gonna run down a few points, then we will start with our session for today. Uh, for those who are joining us for the first time, if you can just go on the settings and just disable the notifications or sounds so that you don't get any disturbance when you are trying to watch the session. If you can just go on the settings and yeah, get that one off. Uh, yeah, just for the topic for today, it's the importance of accident or incident investigation in the workplace. This will be presented by Dr. Asia Soltani, who is the lecturer and safety professional at EIT. Just on the common questions, some people wanted to know about the certificates and the recording. Everyone who registered for this webinar will receive a copy of the slides, and they will also receive a link to the recording. They will get between 1 to 2 working days. Just also monitor your junk or your spam folder as well. Certificate of attendance. We do provide digital certificate of attendance for live technical webinars. At the end of the session, I will actually share a link or a QR code, which it will lead you to a form that you need to complete in order to receive your certificate. And then just to add also, the certificate should be sent to you on Monday. For those who are actually joining us for the first time, just to give us like a high-level overview about EIT. Yeah, when you think of EIT, think of engineering. We are engineering specialists. Our program starts from professional development courses all the way to Doctor of Engineering, and we are industry orientated. As you may know that jobs are changing, job markets changing, technologies changing, and at EIT we strive to ensure that our resources and also our materials are up to date to ensure that we keep up with the trends and the changes. Just like any higher education provider, any university, EIT is accredited with the Australian government. We also do have programs that are recognized under 3 international accords. You get our advanced diplomas under Dublin Accords. You get our bachelor's programs under Sydney Accord. You get our master's program under Washington Accord. And another point about EIT is that we are we do have like industry experience lectures. Our academics are highly experienced. So again, we also source our lectures from different parts of the globe to ensure that our students receive relevant and quality education. We use latest technology, and we still keep up with interacting more with our students. We're making use of unique methodologies, live interactive webinars, and so forth. I'm just gonna now hand it over to our presenter for today, Dr. Asia Sultan. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the kind start. Greeting everyone. I'm Asia Soltani, and I'm honored to be presenting today's webinar on the importance of an accident investigations in your workplace. As a lecturer at EIT with a background in railway engineering and disaster management, I witnessed firsthand the devastating consequences that accidents can have on individuals, organizations, and entire communities. Through my experience in designing and also constructing light and heavy rail transportation systems, I've developed a deep understanding of the importance of risk management and also safety protocols. And I've also learned that accident investigation is an essential tool for preventing future incidents, improving safety, and also ensuring continuous improvements in engineering practices. In this webinar, I'll be sharing my insights on the importance of accident investigation, best practices for conducting effective investigations, and strategies for implementing the lesson learned from investigations in your organization and companies. And I'm looking forward to an engaging and informative webinar, and thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, I wanted to quickly go over the agenda for today's session. At the first time, we will define the terms related to the workplace incidents and accidents to ensure that we are all on the same page. After that, we'll dive into the reasons why workplace incidents and accidents, why actually investigate them, and the importance of them that we have noticed all incidents, accidents in the workplace. Then we'll move on to case study, and we'll learn from a disaster and explore the importance of accident investigation. After we review the process of accident investigation, and finally, we wrap up with the conclusion and Q&A session. I hope this agenda looks informative and helpful to you. And are there any questions or concerns before we get started? Okay. Now let's move on the definitions of terms related to workplace incident and accident here. When we talk about workplace incident and accidents, we are referring to any unaccepted or unplanned event that results in harm to people, damage to property, or disruption to normal operation. This can include anything from slips and falls to machinery malfunctions or more serious incidents like explosions or fires. It's important to note that workplace incidents and accidents can happen in any industry, not just those that are traditionally considered high risk like construction or manufacturing. Even office environments can experience incidents like trips or falls. And it's essential to be aware of these potential risks. By having a clear understanding of what we mean when we talk about workplace incidents and accidents, we can better identify and also investigate these events to prevent them from happening in the future. According to OSHA definitions, Operational Safety and Health Administration defines an accident as unplanned, unaccepted, and not purposely caused event which occurs suddenly and causes injury or loss, decreased value in resources, and also increased liabilities. Near misses describe incidents where given a slight shift in time or distance, injury, ill health, or damage easily could have occurred but didn't this round, maybe because of some shift in time or distance or chance. These near misses lead not to an accident this time, but maybe in the future at any time, the further time, it lead to accident. So it's important that we notice all of these parameters. Any near misses, accidents, incidents. Incident is an event that could lead to loss of or disruption to an organization operation, services, or functions. It's important that we notice that accidents are not happen, they are caused. And the main view of this unit, this investigation in your workplace, is that you find these causes. Another definitions related to this topic is about unsafe conditions, unsafe actions, direct causes, surface causes, and root causes. There are some definitions that we will review these definitions in this webinar. Unsafe conditions, as you see in these pictures, are some unsafe related to unsafe equipment and tools which directly cause the accident. And unsafe acts are harmful behaviors which contributed to the accident. This can include gaps in safety training for staff. And direct cause, surface cause, root cause. There are different layers of causes, causal factors related to accident, incident, or near misses. Direct cause or immediate causes are the result of the condition and or behavior that the final event which produces an accident. And surface cause are hazardous conditions or unsafe acts or behaviors that produce the accident. And the root causes are underlying causes. The surface cause accident, they are the basic causes that lead to an accident, incident, or near misses. But what is accident investigation? An accident investigation is a structured process that attempts to uncover the sequence of events during the time that produce or had the potential to produce injury, death, or property damage, so that causal factors can be determined and corrective actions can be taken. Now I want to draw your attention to the image on this slide. Can anyone tell me why we have a picture of an iceberg here? Please type in the chat box. What do you think about the relationship between the iceberg and the topic of this webinar? Hidden cause of accident. Because there is always something hidden and more than, problem, usually bigger than it looks. Tips of an iceberg. So, yes, that's right. You're on right line. Actually, the iceberg theory is a way to illustrate the idea that workplace incidents and accidents have both direct and indirect consequences, as you can see them here. Direct cause and direct consequences. The tip of the iceberg represents the immediate visible consequences of accident, while the much larger portion beneath the surface represent the hidden part and the hidden part of the iceberg related to indirect consequences that can include near misses or incidents. It's important to be aware of both direct and indirect consequences of workplace incidents and accidents because they can have a significant impact on a company's operation. Reputation and bottom line. By investigating incidents, near misses, and accidents, we can identify and address the root causes, which helps prevent similar events from occurring in the future. Remember that the hidden consequences of workplace incidents and accidents can be just as damaging as the visible ones. So it's essential to take a comprehensive approach to incidents and accident investigation. It's important that we see this part could be considered also as accidents because we see the symptoms just when they happen. But this hidden part could be considered as incidents that could be considered as hidden part when we see and we investigate all near misses, incidents, we avoid the accidents from happening in this part. In the next slide, I'd like to discuss a case study to highlight the importance of incident and accident investigation. This case is known as the Piper Alpha disaster, which was a devastating offshore oil rig explosion that occurred in 1988. As you'll see in this slide, the Piper Alpha disaster resulted in significant losses and also losses of life, extensive property damage, and long-term environmental impact. By studying this case and investigating that followed, we can gain valuable insights into the importance of incident and accident investigation and the critical role it plays in identifying the root causes of these events. At the end of the webinar, we will revisit the Piper Alpha disaster. We have a flashback to it, this case study, and examine its relationship to the broader topic of incidents and accident investigation. Let's take a closer look at this case and its implication in the next slide. We see that the Piper Alpha disaster. Prior to the accident, safety of offshore oil and gas extraction facilities was overseen in the UK by the Department of Energy. This means that the same organization has responsibility for developing interest, and the Cullen inquiry found that though the Piper Alpha platform had been inspected the year of the accident, with inspection focused on the area of work permits and information transfer between ships, because the issue had been implicated in an earlier fatal accident, and the inspections were superficial to the point of being lethal, used as a test of safety on the platform. So, why do we investigate workplace incidents and accidents? There are many reasons, but I'll highlight just here a few of the most important ones. First and foremost, we investigate incident and accident to locate the root cause of the incident accident. By understanding the underlying causes, root causes of an event, we can take corrective actions to prevent it from happening again in the future. Investigating also helps determining the cause of an accident and ways to reduce those costs, whether they be financial or in terms of damage to reputation or environment. Secondly, at the next stage, by publicizing the causes of an accident or incident in report investigation, we can raise awareness of the potential hazards and risks in our workplace. This leads to prevention of recurrence of similar accidents and helps to identify training needs within the company. Third, and the next one, it helps us to identify training needs within the company. And incident and accident investigation is often illegal or legal and regulatory requirements. Fulfilling these requirements not only helps to avoid legal consequences, but also helps to promote a culture of safety within the organization. And for the compilation, and investigating incidents and accidents can be used for disciplinary purposes, data compilation and improving safety system, and also by using data and insights gathered from investigations, companies can improve their overall safety culture and systems, leading to fewer accidents and incidents. But according to OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, our goal, why do we investigate a workplace incident? Why do we investigate a workplace incidents according to OSHA? To find the root cause of an accident so you can prevent similar accidents from occurring in the future, to fulfill any legal requirements, to determine compliance with OSHA standard, to determine the cause of an incident accident, including direct cause may include medical expenses and also indemnity payments, and indirect cause may include some scheduling delays, added administrative time, repairing property damage, and training a replacement worker. And to help your workers' compensation insurance company related to process of the claim. Till now, is everything fine? Please show me a smiley face or thumbs up. Okay. But we talk about why we investigate workplace incidents and accidents, but what events should be investigated? According to OSHA, OSHA strongly encourages employers to investigate all incident, accident, even near misses in which a worker was hurt, as well as near misses in which a worker could have been hurt if the circumstances had been slightly different. By investigating both incidents, also near misses, employers and also workers have the opportunity to identify the hazard and also they identify hazard in their operation and shortcomings in their safety programs. This allows them to take corrective actions, proper corrective actions. So it's needed that we investigate all the events, near misses, incidents, accidents, all of them. At the next step, we want to give a big picture of what happened. You see here the PDCA cycle of safety management system. Also, this cycle, also known as the Deming cycle, as a continuous improvement model that helps organizations to manage safety more effectively. The 4 phases of the cycle are plan, do, check, and act. PDCA. In the planning phase of this cycle, organizations identify safety goals and objectives and create a plan to achieve them. In the doing phase, next phase, they implement the plan and put their safety program into action. And in the check phase, organizations monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of their safety program, which include the incident accident investigations as a crucial part of this phase. Finally, in the act phase, they take corrective actions in this phase to address any issue identified during the check phase. So, incident accident investigation is a crucial part of the PDCA cycle related to safety management system, as it helps organizations to identify hazards and shortcomings in their safety programs during the check phase, allowing them to take corrective actions and improve safety overall. It's important that incident accident investigation should be part of safety management system to be more effective. It's important that if we have a report related to investigation, we implement the corrective actions to our organization to be improved, to improve our safety culture in our organization to be effective. It's important, but till now we see that why do we investigate? The importance of an investigation. Now let's talk about the incident investigation process. After we ensuring that the scene is secure and also any injured person receive first aid, the investigation process can begin. Generally, the process involves several steps including visiting the scene of the incident and gathering evidence, conducting interviews with witnesses and also involved parties in accident incidents, evaluating the evidence and draw conclusions. Also, it means the analyze phase of our investigation procedure. The next step is writing a report with proper recommendations. The next step is following up on the recommendations and ensuring they are implemented correctly. In the upcoming slide, we will explore each of these steps in more detail and discuss best practices for conducting a thorough and also effective incident accident investigation. This slide highlights the importance of being preparation to investigate an accident incident in the workplace. It first emphasizes the need for immediate emergency response actions such as securing the scene or in providing care to the injured person. It then goes on to list the key decisions that need to be made before an investigation can begin, such as determining the level of investigation, selecting the investigators, allocating the necessary time and resources, and deciding whether additional resources will be needed or not. By being prepared and making the decisions beforehand, the investigation process can be carried out more efficiently and also effectively, with a greater likelihood of identifying the root causes of the incident and taking steps to prevent it from happening again in the future. Also, here is accident investigation preparation tools that it's needed that we have it before the accident happen. The formal written policy, the emergency response plan, and also training the related workers, accident investigation training, accident investigation kit. But what are the types of accident incident to to investigate? When an incident occurs, it's important to determine the appropriate level of investigations to conduct investigation. The level of investigation is often determined by assessing the level of risk associated with the incident using a risk matrix. The risk matrix can help you to decide how much time, money, and also resources needed to allocate for the investigation. Incidents can be categorized into different levels based on the level of severity and the potential for loss, the consequences, and the likelihood of recurrence, actually. Serious and major incidents are usually investigated automatically, while minor incidents and near misses may require investigations to identify the underlying conditions or practices that could cause injury or equipment damage if allowed to continue. And also, investigating serious accidents often reveals earlier incidents of a similar nature that were dismissed as insignificant. Therefore, it's important to investigate all accidents and incidents and near misses with the potential for loss, regardless of their severity. By doing so, we can identify the root causes and take corrective actions to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. You see here how we can determine the level of incident accidents with the potential of the consequences and the likelihood of recurrence. We have here the high level of investigation, medium level, low level, and minimal. But what are the types of accident? As we see, we have different types of accident. It could be serious and major, or it could be minor or near misses. It's not important that it's serious or minor. For all of them, we conduct interview. The severity of the accident incident just identify the level of accident incident investigation that is need to be taken. And all of them should be investigated. But the first step of in conducting an incident accident investigation is visiting the scene, gathering and recording evidence. This includes any documentation, the physical conditions at the scene, such as the layout, lighting, weather, and any equipment or machinery involved in the incident. It's important to document everything in detail, as this will help to identify any contributing factors to the incident accident. Some important thing to consider during this step is that we're securing the scene. Before any evidence is gathered, the scene should be secured and made safe to enter. We want to avoid any further accidents, incidents. It's important that we be sure that the scene is secure. And also, it's important that we're taking photographs. Photographs can be useful in reconstructing the sequence of events leading up to the incident accidents. And also interviewing witnesses. Any witness to the incident accident should be interviewed as soon as possibly while their memories are still fresh. This can help to identify any contributing factors or hazards that may have been present. In the next slides, we will review the process related to interviewing with people. And it's important that we're collecting all physical evidence such as broken parts, tools, or equipment. They can help to identify what really happened and what went wrong. It's important to remember that all of these pieces of evidence should be collected and preserved in a way that does not compromise its integrity or accuracy. Is important. We have different types of evidences, as you could see in this table: physical evidence, paper evidence, people evidence, and photographic or picture evidences. At the next step, we're conducting interview. Conducting interviews is a critical step in accident investigation. The objective of the interview is to gather information that will help to identify the root cause of the accident. The interviewer needs to be skilled in communication, active listening, and the ability to ask open-ended question. It's very important, open-ended question, to gain the required information. It's important to interview all witnesses, including the injured parties and any other employees who may have relevant information. During the interview, the interviewer should make notes and ask follow-up questions to clarify, and also to clarify any ambiguous answer, clarify all of them. All interviews should be conducted in a professional and respectful manner, and the interviewer should avoid making assumptions or drawing conclusions until all information is gathered and analyzed. And the interviewee, it's important that should be sure that the purpose of investigation is not about to put blame on someone. We have to clarify the purpose of investigation. That is part of our investigation. We just want to find the root causes as a part of a system. The purpose is not to put blame on someone. At the next step, we evaluate our evidences and draw conclusions. In this step of investigation that we will review, the main purpose of this step is actually represented in this simple picture: how the accident happened, who is involved in this accident or who is injured, when it happened, where it happened, what is the important thing related to the accident incident, and why it happened. Asking these questions is the main purpose to analyze, evaluate the pieces of evidence and draw conclusions. Actually, we analyze different data and facts that we gather to find the root causes of accidents, incidents. Root cause analysis. The next step, evaluate evidence and draw conclusions. In this step of the investigation, the gathered evidences is very important. And we have to understand the root causes of the accidents or incidents. There are many theories and models that are available to help investigators understand why and how accidents occur, and it is important to understand them to prevent similar accidents in the future. Each accident investigator and company have a view about how accidents occur and which theories they prefer. And effective analytic techniques and tools, such as the different systematic analytic methods, epidemiological techniques, sequential techniques, and that in the next slide we will review them. All of them has the one main purpose: to find the root causes of accident incidents. And it's important to note that the conclusion should be based on the fact and pieces of evidence rather than assumption or opinion. The investigator should also consider human factors such as fatigue, stress, and lack of training, which can contribute to an accident. The goal of this step is to identify the underlying and root causes of the accident incident, to develop recommendations for preventing similar accidents from happening in the future. Actually, the topic of this unit is view of systematic view to accident incident analysis. If it's a planned one, maybe it's needed that the other parts from another part dealing with this investigation also. Maybe it's needed that we use another resources to add to investigation team. Incident investigation. There are many methods and models for analyzing the information gathered in the previous steps. And also, it's important to note that different companies and organizations may use different method of accident analysis and investigation, depending on the complexity of their systems and also the nature of their operation. For example, a simple system may only require a basic cause and effect analysis, while a more complex system, a refinery system, requires more detailed analysis using advanced techniques. And also, moreover, a type of organization can also play a role in determining the appropriate analysis method. For example, a manufacturing company may need to focus more on equipment and also machinery related causes, while a healthcare organization may need to focus more on human factors such as communication breakdowns or process errors, some kind of these errors. Therefore, it's important to consider the specific context of each organization and system when selecting an appropriate accident investigation and analysis method. Here in this slide, you can see the history of accident incident modeling that has evolved over time and has been categorized into three stages. Actually, we have different categories related to accident incident investigation. It's just one of them. Sequential techniques, epidemiological techniques, and also systematic techniques. Sequential techniques were the first to emerge and were based on the belief that accidents occurred as a result of a series of events during the time that unfolded in a linear and predictable manner. This approach was used to identify the immediate causes of the accident and to develop recommendations for preventing similar accidents in the future. And also epidemiological techniques emerged in the mid of the 20th century and were used to identify patterns and trends in accident data. These techniques were used to develop statistical models that could be used to predict the likelihood of accident occurring. And also systemic techniques here emerged in the later half of the 20th century and were based on the belief that accidents were the result of a complex interaction between different subsystems, technology, and the environment. This approach emphasized the importance of understanding the context in which accidents occurred and developing solutions that address the underlying systemic issues. It's important to note that different organizations may choose to use different accident modeling techniques depending on their specific needs and the complexity of their systemic. Here you can see this category related to accident model is divided into traditional models and also modern models. In traditional models, we have sequential and epidemiological models. In moderns, we have some systemic and dynamic sequential models. And also, sequential techniques are some simple methods that just emphasize on sequence of events, like FDA model, as you see in this picture. And also, you could see here epidemiological techniques that involve the environmental circumstances in the model. And also systemic techniques that designed to understand more complex systems related to the accident incidents. Here is the models related to the chart that adopted by Hall-Nagel in 2008 that shows the suitability of different analysis techniques based on the types of the system being analyzed, related to coupled system and manageable system. We see that for a loosely coupled system and the systems that we could manage them easily, we could use sequential techniques. For tightly coupled system, it means that the systems that we have more interactions, we have more interactions between different subsystems, and the systems that we could manage them easily, we could use epidemiological techniques. But for the systems that we could not manage them easily and we have lots of interactions between different systems that makes the system more complex, we could use systemic techniques. The next step related to accident incident investigation is to write report with recommendation. It's important that When we're writing a report for an investigation, it's important that it be clear and concise, and it includes at least these parameters: methodology, introduction, sequence of events, facts and analysis, causal factors, corrective actions, conclusions, and summary. It's important that you ensure that your report is stored in a secure location and is maintained properly. And the next step is related to follow-up, is the follow-up procedure. In the follow-up procedure of incident-accident investigation, we just follow and be sure that all the corrective actions completely implemented, and make certain that corrective actions works to prevent accidents. In some occasions, maybe it's needed that we change our corrective actions and ensure that the corrective actions is being used and be proactive. We back to our case study, the Piper Alpha disaster, and we want to see the importance of accident incident investigation in this case. Lord Cullen's report into the accident emphasizes the importance of identifying the management shortcoming as part of the investigation process. This shortcoming may include issues such as lack of clear procedures for shift handover, inadequate permit to work, and poor training, monitoring, and auditing practices, and also the lessons from a previous relevant accident had not been followed through this process. Evacuation procedures had not been practiced adequately. There had no adequate assessment of the major hazards and method for controlling them. And also, the lesson learned from the Piper Alpha accident. It shows the importance of incidents investigation and also the importance of accident investigation, that we will review these two main parameters as the final parts of our webinars. The importance of incident investigation. Before the accident, the disaster happened, we have some signals that show that we have some shortcoming in our process. Some near misses had not been investigated properly before the disaster happened. It shows us the importance of investigating any near misses in our organization. If we ignore them to investigate properly, maybe it leads up to disaster finally. Inadequate fire suppression systems. We have lack of training for workers. It shows that temporary shutdown of the platform or productions not work properly. We have the gas leak that occurred before the accident happened, prior to the Piper Alpha disaster, but they ignore it. But it's related to the importance of incidents and near miss investigation. We have some signals before the disaster happened that they ignore them. But after it happened, we have some learning from disasters related to this case study. We have some the main lesson learning from Piper Alpha disaster is that management is responsible. A systemic approach is required in this kind of more complex system, a systemic approach for investigation. We have quality of safety management we have see there's importance of quality of safety management, and auditing is vital. And for conclusions, the importance of incident accident investigation in your workplace. There are many theories about why and how accidents occur, and understanding them is important. Accidents do not just happen, they are caused. And the key to accident investigation is to find the root cause of accident. An accident investigator must understand how an accident occurs in order to properly analyze it, find its causes, and prevent future accidents. Each accident investigator and company has a view about how accidents occur and which theories they prefer. Understanding why accidents occur and how to prevent their recurrence is an essential part of improving safety in our industry. And thank you so much for listening. It's all from my side. I will hand over to Barry for the new more discussion.
All right. Thank you so much, Josia. We're just going to quickly move into the next points just to highlight our upcoming EIT programs. As you will see, we've got our short programs that they actually run throughout the year. We have also our diploma and advanced diploma programs that are actually running throughout. We have the next intake of our undergraduate certificates together with our bachelor's programs on the 24th of July. And then we will have our graduate certificates together with our master's programs running on the 26th of June. And then we'll have our Doctor of Engineering, which is taking place on the 24th of July. And then we'll have our on-campus programs. That will be our bachelor's, master's, and Doctor of Engineering on the 31st of July. Yeah, you can just always familiarize or just read more on our programs. If you can just check on our EIT course schedule. It's actually a nice tool to check our upcoming programs. And then just to touch base on our upcoming webinars, we've got a 30-minute overview short course in industrial automation. We have effects of harmonics on distribution transformer efficiency. We have computational simulations of wind flow patterns around buildings. We'll have also voltage switchboard design and construction verification. So you can always just go on our website, check under news events in order to read more on our upcoming webinars. I'm just gonna take this time for those who have been asking on how to obtain the certificates of attendance. So if you can just quickly take your phone and scan the QR code. Alternatively, you can just follow that link in order to be able to complete the form. So it's more like a survey form. You complete that and send it through. And then, as I mentioned in the beginning of this session, that the certification should be forwarded to everyone on Monday. And yeah, just to add on the topic of today, we do actually have programs under safety and risk and reliability. We do have our graduate diploma, we have our graduate certificate, we have master's program. However, it's not on schedule at the moment, so you can go and just check them out. And if we can just, I'm just going to stay for some time on this page. If you can just scan the QR code, or alternatively, you can just make use of this link in order to complete the form and receive your digital certificate of attendance. However, we can also just reset this time as well to see if there's any questions based on the session that we just had. It could be specifically for the topic or anything that it could be our courses. Yeah, you're more than welcome to just raise a question. Yeah. Yeah, and then just to add also, yeah, thank you so much for joining today. And to read more about EIT, you can just always go on our website, eit.edu.au, or you can always just send us an email on webinars@eit.edu.au. As I mentioned earlier about the good tool that can you actually go to if you want to read more of our courses that are on schedule. You can just always just go on the website to read more on that. Hi, Alan Piri. We do have a graduate diploma. We also have a graduate certificate in safety and risk reliability. Hi, Sarah. Unfortunately, we do not have a fully funded scholarship. However, you can just always just go on our website and find to read more on our partial scholarship programs. Hi, Doctor. There's another question here. Someone says, is there any standards for accident regulations?
Hi, yes, absolutely. There are many standards for accident regulations. Some of them are common, like a standard related to OSHA, ISO, but it depends on your company and organizations because it's a multidisciplinary field that different organizations and companies have different regulations. It depends on your organization and company. For example, oil and gas companies had different standards, but the other parts, for example, mining companies, transportation companies, had different ones. And also, it depends on the area, the countries that you are worked. It's a very we have very standards and regulations. Uh, Please refer to your company and search that in your field which standards works better and also in your country.
Thank you. There's another one from Walter. I'm not sure whether you can be able to see it. Hi, Doctor. Hi, doctor. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still online.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going back to this. There's a question coming from Walter. I'm not sure whether you saw it.
I want. I Would you please read the
Yeah.
question? I could not find
Okay.
it.
Okay, not a problem. It says, what if we have a case whereby one get involved in an accident at the workplace and passed away on the spot? Can the safety officer or manager move the body without any other authority instruction or not? Can the safety team transport the body to the hospital without paramedical approval? What is the ILO in regard to that in the workplace?
Okay, thank you for your question. The first step in these cases is that you immediately report your supervisor, manager. They're trained properly. Uh, and now how to act in these occasions. They know the process because it's very different, but they know what a process need to be taken. So the first step for different workers is to call and report the case to the proper ones and take proper actions immediately. Actually, the responsible part, if it's needed, take some action. If it's needed, conduct interview. And now, how first aid needs to be taken in this case? Is there any other question? I see many questions here.
Another
Someone said,
one, how do I let the risk matrix?
yeah, the risk matrix. Yes, the risk matrix is a part of safety management system. In this unit, in investigation part, we just use it to determine the level of investigation. And you could, in the slide, I refer the reference that we use matrix. Is part of safety management system. And also we have a course, master course related to this topic, incident accident investigation, MSR courses.
Okay.
And also we have this answer. Can you please show the types of incident accident investigation forms? I can show you. We have different forms and we have different templates of accident incident investigation. It depends on your company. As I said, it's very normal that companies and organizations have some typical forms related to incident accidents before it happened. It's just one part of the safety program in your organization and company. It differs from one company to another, from one country to another. It's very different. Someone said how to conduct a RCA, root cause analysis. It needed that we talk about it in 2, 3 or more sessions, but root cause analysis have different models. We just list them in a figure that we reviewed in this webinar, and we just say that how we can find the root causes, but the way that how we can use these methods, for example, different methods, systemic methods, epidemiologic methods, and the other ones, the complex method, is needed more time to review them, you can search the name of the method that we reviewed in the slides. Maybe we have another webinars via UAT to explain about it, but it needs time. Thank you, Barry. I hand over to you.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you once again and have a great day further. All right. Thank you guys for joining, and we hoping all you will have a great day. And yes, enjoy. Thanks.